What you are about to see are what we call laser coaching sessions. These are special 10 to 15-minute sessions, so they're pretty short, but we get to dig into one topic with a circuit sales system student at a pretty in-depth level. Now, even if you have a different business than the person that we're talking to, I would still encourage you to listen because I am positive that you will also get a big takeaway for your business. So enjoy.
My name is Bianca. My business is called Be Light Transformative Therapy. So it's a holistic health and wellness business, all online at this point. And it's mostly focused around functional breath work, functional body work. We do some sound healing in there and some mindset work as well. Yeah. So for me, I bought it right around January 1st, but I made this very silly mistake this year of taking on too many projects in 2023. And I even started another little
the entrepreneurial mistake that we all like, oh, I can totally do this. I can fit all this in my schedule.
Yeah. And so I even started like a second small business, which is taking more of my time than I expected. Right. And so I'm a little frustrated with myself because I'm usually very disciplined about going through the whole program. And so where I stand right now is I have brain dumped every aspect of module 3 and 4, and I'm ready to start writing out the full light bulb video in its full form.
Yep.
But I haven't had anyone's eyes on my title, my spark points or anything. And because I've been kind of in and out and haven't had a whole day to just sit in the messaging, I feel lost looking at it today. Like, I don't even know if it makes any sense.
Yeah.
So if I could just get your eyeballs on it, maybe a little feedback.
Absolutely.
Okay. So let me try to hit you with this. So here's one version of the title, which I feel is way too long. And I have other versions, but this is kind of the one I landed on a couple weeks ago. How to fire up your energy, eliminate chronic pain, and finally feel good by optimizing your breathing and cultivating incredible internal awareness without guesswork, going it alone, or gimmicky techniques. I feel it's a little bit long, but
it is. But you have a lot of great elements in there, like the fire up your energy, eliminate chronic pain, and finally feel good. I think is awesome. And actually, normally too, I would say take out because we want to tell them the what, right? But we don't need to yet tell them all the how. And as we get into the breathing and that kind of thing, we're starting to get into the how, but the breathing does differentiate it. But I think it's that middle section that we can tighten up in between by optimizing your breathing through the awareness.
So I can get rid of this completely. I have a version without this. I added it in later because from doing all those interviews, well, first of all, it's a breath program and I want to be upfront that they're going to be learning about breathing. And it's not like a supplement thing or a dietary thing. I really do want to have something about breathing in there.
Yes,
and usually, honestly, people who find me already know that they're interested in breath work. So I do want to have that piece. I'm happy to eliminate this cultivate awareness completely.
Yes. Yeah.
So if I got rid of that.
If the cultivating awareness is something that they talked about and it's something that you can still use that wording in your light bulb video, right?
Okay.
One of the things that I hear a lot is people are looking to cultivate awareness. And here's what, you can absolutely still use that in your video.
Okay. Okay. So if I just cut it at breathing and then this is sort of the subtext, it works. Yeah.
Going alone or gimmicky techniques. Yeah. Yeah. If they're like, oh, I don't know what to do, I think that would be guesswork and guesswork, going it alone.
The going it alone comes from, I find a lot of people in my audience are trying to grab stuff off of YouTube and reading books and taking bits and pieces, but they don't really know how to put it together. I guess that's guesswork. But the word that kept coming up a lot in every interview was connection and community. And so I wanted them to know that even though this is a self-paced course that I sell, there's a lot of implementation guidance. It's fed into my community. They still get access to me. We do Q&As and some live classes as well.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So I don't know if going it alone. Yeah, go ahead.
Did the word community come up from people who have already purchased from you, who are already in your community, or from people who aren't yet? Oh, okay, awesome. Okay,
community and connection really kept coming up.
Very interesting. Awesome. Then leaving without going it alone. Interesting. Okay. Isn't it interesting stuff that you like? I think they're going to say this, and they say something else. You're like, oh, okay.
I was surprised. Connection was like the theme of every conversation. It was really interesting.
Fascinating. Yeah. Yes, then I would leave in without going it alone. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I kind of like the alliteration of it also.
I know. But it works. That's the thing. Like the science is alliteration. And also, not that you have to do this here, but science has proven that people believe stuff when it rhymes, which is crazy when you think about it. Crazy. But like if it rhymes, they're like, well,
must be true.
Must be true. Like, but yes, it is a thing. People believe stuff when it rhymes. Yeah.
Okay. My spark points all feel very contrived to me. So I don't even know. I don't even know if they go with my paradigm shifts, but here we go. I'm trying to shove in the bigger transformations into my spark points is basically what I was trying to do.
Yes. So here's what I would say with your how to connect to the innate healing intelligence of your own body without having to rely on overly complicated concepts. So here's the thing about your spark points. You don't have to structure them the same way that you structure your title, right? The what, the without. It could just be, you could just do, how to connect to the innate healing intelligence of your own body.
And that could be the spark point?
That could be a spark point. I would say too, that as you're playing with your spark points, once you get an idea of like, all right, this is basically what I want it to be, then start to play with it a little bit, right? Start to make it like, how can you make it a little bit more exciting or a little bit more like, ooh, oh my gosh, I want that, how to connect with the innate intelligence, the innate healing intelligence of your own body, faster than you would believe, or, I think one of mine is like in less time than it takes to drink a cup of coffee, something like that. Or it could be how to, it doesn't necessarily have to be time, of course, but it could be, the secrets to connecting to the innate healing intelligence of your body, or like what people won't tell you, what most people won't tell you about connecting to that, just to make it like, and not to make it gimmicky by any means, because you're going to give them the information, but just to make it like, ooh, just more exciting,
Yeah, it's like a YouTube
compelling
title. It's like a title for a YouTube video.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. I think I got confused. I got stuck in this structure, and that's why my spark points feel ridiculous to me. So I can the spark point can just be what they want. It doesn't have to be anything about what they don't want, basically.
Exactly.
Okay. Can I just show you the other two?
Yeah, totally. Please do. Yeah.
They're a disaster. But the third one is my most heartbreaking one. It's a disaster. Okay. So, number 2, I was kind of okay with, but maybe you can give me a little feedback on this.
How to feel energized and pain-free by doing way less and escaping the more is better mentality forever. Okay. Feel energized and pain-free by doing. So I would say, I think you have by doing way less and then escaping the more is better. I feel like you're kind of saying the same thing in 2 different ways. Yeah. So I would do, you can even just do, let's see. Your spark point could be why more is better is the exact opposite of what you should be doing when it comes to pain relief. Okay. And what you should be doing instead, in parentheses, something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
When we get to the landing page, the spark points are the thing that's on the landing page. Is that correct?
Yeah. They'll be on the opt-in page, right?
On the opt-in page. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you'll have the, exactly. And you'll use them in your light bulb video too, obviously. Yeah. But you'll have your kind of your header section, and then it'll be kind of, it's like, if the title should be what gets them like, ooh, I'm interested, I want to learn. There will be some people who are like, yeah, I'm just opting in, but the spark points are the things that get them like, once they read through all 3, they're like, oh man, yes, I absolutely. Most people, we have other stuff on the page to help get them.
Right. So the spark points are the main kind of content. The paradigm shifts only come into the light bulb video, right? I haven't gotten that far in the modules yet, so forgive me. Okay. So the spark points have to be more, I got you, grabby. All right. Yes. The third one, catastrophic. So many words. So just bear with me and let's just look at it and don't judge too harshly. Oh my God.
Harshly at all. You are judging harshly. I'm not judging harshly at all.
I'm having a hard time with this one.
Well, you know that writing for yourself is the absolute hardest thing to do, right? My copy, because I train people to become professional copywriters, and I have to tell them this again and again because they beat themselves up. But it's the hardest to write for ourselves.
I believe it.
how to be strong and self-reliant without disconnecting from others, questioning your choices, or banking on endless biohacking strategies that don't actually make you feel good. Okay, so what is the main point?
Right.
What's the main thing that
Beautiful. Great question. Again, I was just trying to shove in a lot of things that they gave me into like the headers, and I think it's overboard. I can put it in other places, is what you're saying. Like I get pretty much a 50-50 of men and women. Mm-hmm. For my men, there was this real sense of like, I want to be able to keep my strong masculine exterior and persona, but not be the threat in the room. I still want to have a softness that allows people to accept me and be open to having me around. Like they are also wanting to feel connection and love.
Yeah.
But feeling like they can still stay in their own power, so they want this sense of community and connection while still staying in their own power. And then my women, I have a lot of them who are like, they feel guilty not doing for others. They feel guilty whenever they're stopping. They like feel guilty taking a break or doing something for themselves, or they're always kind of like questioning if they're doing it right or not, and they have to default to someone else. But I feel across the board, everyone wants the connection, but they still want to maintain some level of autonomy. Sure. So there's like this thing of like, you can be strong and independent and still have your community and connection. And it doesn't, these things are not even related. And a lot of people are also frustrated with all the biohacking and not feeling good. So
yeah.
So they're like two totally different concepts that I'm trying to shove into one thing.
Okay. Let's dig into your paradigm shift.
Oh, this paradigm shift is not well written. It's better.
No. It doesn't have to be well. Yeah. Just as long as once because you're going to massage it as you go. And as you write, I'm not judging you. I promise.
It may be better if I tell you, because I don't even know how this is written. So this last paradigm shift is like, most people will tell you that the best advice is to just take a deep breath, right? And they'll tell you this whether you're feeling anxious, whether you're feeling angry, whether you're feeling overwhelmed or exhausted, but this is completely wrong. And this is why, right? So this is horrible advice. And this is why. And so when I unravel it, it's really about, number one, don't take advice from people who don't know anything about what they're talking about. Learn to trust your own instincts and your own intuition about what feels right for you. And also, there's way more to it than that. This is not, some people who are obsessed with like the biohacking and this and that, they're grabbing at information and implementing, but they don't always know the why behind it. So this paradigm really breaks down the why behind, why do people say take a deep breath, and why are they misusing it? It's not even the right advice to be giving.
Okay, which is very interesting. Because it's true, everybody just like whatever it is, it's just like take a deep breath, and that's going to fix everything.
Yes.
So what I'm hearing though is that community element isn't really part of this one. I mean, it might be something that you can add in, and you'll see as you go, there are places where you can kind of discuss stuff kind of in between paradigm shifts or in between pillars, or, kind of add things in, or it might be a differentiation point, right? Like a lot of programs, you breathing is something you do by yourself, but this is an opportunity to connect with. Anyway. So it sounds much more about
strategy.
Yeah, strategy. How to not exactly how to like bust through all of the
but a little bit like filter through the nonsense.
Maybe it is why something like why the just take a deep breath advice is sometimes the absolute worst thing you can do.
Can that be my spark point? Even though that's but can the spark point have the words that are in the paradigm shift basically then?
Yeah.
Oh, so I could say why being told take a deep breath is the absolute worst advice to be given, or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. And then I know we talked about this for the last one, so obviously don't do the exact same thing, but something along the lines of, and what you should do instead. Just so they know that you're not only going to say like, don't do this, but you're also going to tell them what to do.
Okay. So include the, and what you should do instead, or something like that in the spark points. Oh my God, I have so much work to do. Okay. I'm going to get there. This was really helpful.
Well, it sounds like what we've been talking through though, is that the concepts are there and the concepts are solid. And that's really one of the hardest things, because there are, if you don't have the solid concepts, you don't know what you really want to say to people. then that's going to get you stuck. Because how do you and there's a lot of students who've kind of gone down the road with concepts where you go, wait, but that doesn't actually make any sense. And they've tried to write spark points and tried to like, you have to take back several steps. But it sounds like you have some really solid, it all starts with those paradigm shifts. Because once you have the solid paradigm shifts, then you can build everything else out.
I feel like I have too much to say, actually, and I'm a little worried I'm going to go into teaching mode too much and not enough paradigm shifting mode. Like, that's my concern. When I started to write out the paradigm shift, I was like, is everyone writing this in one paragraph? I feel like I'm writing paragraphs and paragraph and paragraph. So I think I have to cut it down a little, or I'm only just starting to put the whole video together. So I think there are going to be other places where I can include these extra details that I feel so compelled to share.
And, and there will be times where it makes sense to teach a little bit, right? Like if you're telling people, don't just take a deep breath, you are going to want to say something like, for example, in this scenario, people will say, just take a deep breath. But actually what you should do is this. But that's that's one tiny little piece of teaching. You're not digging into, okay, in this scenario, do this, in this scenario, do, that kind of thing. Because it gives them like just a taste of what's in your full program. And that's totally appropriate. But I would definitely listen to your gut. If there are places where you go, I might be kind of giving away the house on this one. You might want to dial it back. I think a lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to trust my gut. I just want to like check first. But if you are thinking to yourself, I might actually be giving away too much. Like I would charge people for what I'm putting
this information. Yeah.
Might be just a little bit too much. Yeah.
Okay. This is great. It gives me a lot to rework. Can I ask you one more thing before we wrap up? Sorry.
Yeah.
I really, really want to flip the switch on this thing by the first week of April. I have a lot of like important podcasts coming up and teaching engagements that it's like, I really want to take advantage of those bigger audiences I'm going to be in front of. What is the possibility? I was kind of looking for an aerial view. Do I have to finish all 17 modules before I flip the switch, or can I get through? I'm trying to understand how to pace
No, you don't have to go through all 17 modules by any means. You need to have, so in order to flip the switch, you need to have your light bulb video done, obviously.
Fine.
You need to have your fast action, your nurture, and your first sales sequence emails done.
Right.
And then you need to build out the pages along with it. So you need to build out, obviously, the video landing page, because you need deadline funnel for that. You need to build out your sales page. You need to build out your opt-in page. Let's see. The good news is, by the way, as I start listing all of this stuff out, you're like, sales page and opt-in page, so much of it you're going to be able to pull from your live video.
Right.
Let's see what else. And you're going to, obviously you'll need the tech to kind of join them up. But I wouldn't say it's, some people, are you okay with tech, or does tech kind of like?
Yeah, at this point, I've been so immersed in it in the last 3 years. I'm fine. So I'm one of the Kajabi people. So I'm like very experienced with the cookie cutter attaching everything. I don't know how it's going to work with deadline funnel yet, but I know there's other people in the community who've gotten it to work. So
yeah, exactly. So okay, that's good. Because I know some people are like, I don't want to do any tech. Like whether or not you want to learn tech, you kind of have to learn tech before you can then outsource it eventually. But then really like sitting down and connecting up the pages and the tech will adding deadline funnel will take like an afternoon, maybe a couple hours.
So let's say I have 5 weeks that I want to try to finish everything else. What's my best strategy? I'm going to start writing out my light bulb video. That's obviously not going to happen overnight. Can I start to also keep going in the modules, working on the sales emails already, or no? It's like this.
I would get your light bulb video done first, because it needs to be
completed.
Because the thing is too, is that you, even with the sales emails, there's so much that you're going to be like, oh, she suggests I put FAQs in here. Great. I'm going to go copy and paste it right into. Yeah.
Okay. Do you think it's probable 5 weeks? Is that I
think it's totally possible. It really depends on how much time you have to dedicate to it. Right. Yeah.
I'm super mad at myself for losing the last 2 months. I just got distracted with this other thing because I was like so on track to get it done. Okay. So,
right.
All right.
But it is possible.
Okay.
I'm trying to think if there's anything that you can even, I mean, like worst case, not worst case, it's not worst, but like you could, if you were running out of time, what I would do, and you're like, I gotta have this link. What I would do is I would do your sales page last.
Okay.
Because you could always, at least for the fast action, you could always normally you would want to send them to another sale from the video to the sales page, then to the cart page. But like worst case scenario, you could send them from the video directly to the cart page.
Okay.
And then later on, you can be like, all right, I'm going to fix that and put the sales page in. Now you'll also need a sales page for your regular sales sequence. Like you need a fast action sales page and a regular sales. But if you go direct to cart from your fast action, that at least buys you a couple more days to put together your sales page.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to make it happen. It's just going to happen.
You absolutely can. I know people who have like, all right, I've been shocked by how quickly they've done it. So you absolutely can. Yeah.
Okay.
Like I said, I think your like the concepts that you're teaching are really, really solid. And that is very literally the hardest part.
Yeah. Okay. Also, I submitted this exact question for our next coaching call, so feel free to remove it. Now you have one less thing to respond to. And you also got back to me about that real world pricing thing in the Facebook group.
Did that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, I'm struggling with it a little bit. I think my clients are probably like breathing apps or meditation apps maybe could be competition. I think any kind of supplements for like pain and energy could be competition.
Even like therapy appointments for stress and, doctor's appointments, chiropractic appointments, massage appointments for stress.
Yes.
Like when you think all of the things that we pay for when it comes to stress, and not even to talk about, which you can even say, you can talk about the actual numbers, and you could say that's not even to talk about the hours of sleep that are lost, which leads to lost productivity and leads to lost quality time with your loved ones and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, don't be afraid to really keep it on and make people understand what is truly at stake here. Because if we don't do it for them, they won't make that connection. They'll go, well, it's a breathing course. You have to be like, oh no, this is so not just a breathing. This is your life.
Yeah. Wow, you are excellent at what you do. I really admire copywriters, and just listening to you, I'm amazed at how the ideas just come instantly. It's really spectacular to watch. So thank you so much.
Oh, my pleasure.
Really helpful.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it.
Is there anything? Did we get everything you need? Any other questions or anything?
Nope. I have a lot of work to do, but I feel good about it.
But you can do it. I can absolutely
do it. And this gave me some clarity. I think I was just going about those spark points totally wrong. I was sticking to that formula that is not making any sense.
Well, that's good to know though, because then I can go in and put in a video or just put in a tip of like, hey, don't feel constrained by the other formula. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Nicki, thank you so much. This is so great. I really appreciate your time.
I appreciate your time as well.
Thank you. Good. I hope it's helpful.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Bye. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in. Do you want to learn how to sell and scale your offer on autopilot every single day without the chaos of live launching or the low conversions of Evergreen? Who doesn't, right? Get our free on-demand video training at circuitsalessystem.com/free. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to this channel to make sure you never miss a video. We'll catch you next time.